County Fair. John Dvorak, the manager for the Rice County Fair, is in studio. That's all right, John, isn't it? We can think about the fair even though it doesn't look like fair weather outside.
That's right, it just makes this stuff just a little easier to take.
When you think about good weather, right?
Yeah, you just gotta keep thinking good weather and keep thinking positive, and sooner or later it'll happen.
How are we going to improve on last year's fair, though? What a success that was. But we have to always try and figure out how to do something bigger and better, don't we?
That's right, yeah, you gotta keep climbing that mountain, and boy, I tell you, the closer you get to the top, the harder it gets. But it's coming along good. We pretty much got our grandstand performances all intact. Our free act entertainment, we have that lined up, so we'll be ready to go there. Kids entertainment is coming in, so there's just a few holes that I have to fill with different entertainers, local, and I'm trying to find local entertainers, so we'll get those few spots filled in and we'll be ready to go, and hopefully it's good choices that we made, and people will be happy and people will come and have a good time, and we want them to have a good time, and we got most of our food vendors coming back, and I'm excited about that. It's always good to see the same people coming back. People can kind of expect what's all going to be there.
But yeah, it's always nice to have something new too.
Something new. I'm working on a
lamb chop.
Lamb chop. Yeah, we keep talking about lamb chops here. I got a cookie vendor that's coming, hopefully coming this year. He specializes in making chocolate chip cookies, and that's really popular at events that he goes to, so I'm hoping that we can lure him to the Rice County Fair. He gave me a verbal okay, so we'll see when the contract comes in the mail if he's coming. You never get excited until the contract's in the mail. I mean,
it's never a done deal till it's a done deal.
Yeah, and even then you kind of wonder, okay, are they going to show up? And so, but thankfully they do, and I'm happy that they do, and everybody does a good job. And the one nice thing I like about there's such a camaraderie that goes around at the fair between the vendors. Everybody knows each other, and they all have a good time, and you can see it in their attitudes when you come and talk to them. They're having a good time.
Well, you can also see, John, when they're out there, they're competitors, but yet one has trouble with something, and they borrow things back and forth,
exactly.
And they help each other out.
Exactly, and it's just fun to see. It's just fun to be part of that, and we're just so happy that we can be part of it, and they do a great job for us, and what more can I say? They're just great.
By the way, the other night going home was one of the few nice days we've had, warmer sunshine. I took a shortcut through the fairgrounds just to see how everything looked. It was so nice to see the lawn starting to green up, and boy, it looks like the buildings are all in pretty good shape. There might be some tweaks and some painting and things here and there, but boy, it looks like the fairgrounds are in pretty good shape.
They are. We come through the winter pretty good.
No roofs have collapsed or anything?
No roofs have collapsed. No buildings have collapsed. It's not a laughing matter, but we've had that happen in years past, and so that's always nice when that doesn't happen. But yeah, this is always kind of my favorite time of the year. It's you get that fresh smell in the air that earth is warming up, and it's still a little cool, and it just like, okay, now this is a new start, it's a new beginning, and to me that's always an exciting time of the year.
And when the weather finally gets nice and farmers are out in the field, you're already thinking about the new year at the Rice County Fair, because it's not very far away, really, when you look at the calendar.
Exactly. Everybody thinks, wow, July, that's a long ways off, but I like to tell my board members there's only 3 meetings now between now and the fair, so crunch time.
You mentioned too about the free entertainment, and you get some big things in, like I remember the white side rolls, but yet it's nice that you work in some local talent too. That's kind of what a county fair is all about too.
And we do try to work in some local talent.
Iowa. John Dvorak is in the studio where it's warm and dry, the manager of the Rice County Fair. But John, we're from Minnesota, so we learn how to deal with the weather, even if it's hot or cold or wet at fair time.
That's right. Well, you can't control the weather, so you just kind of adapt to it.
And if you look at history, usually there's probably 1 or 2 days that we end up wet or ends up warm, but it can be tough when the entire run of the fair is miserably hot or miserably cold. But that's the chance you take.
It is the chance you take, and they say you can't control the weather, and obviously, every year you hope for good weather, and if you don't get it, you deal with it, and you try to deal with it the best you can, and we got we work real close with the sheriff's department on our emergency service, so if there is bad weather that's coming in, we can notify the people at the fairgrounds fairly quick.
And nowadays you know what's coming way ahead of time, because
exactly.
That's somebody's job to be watching that, so you can get people into buildings where it's safe, or maybe evacuate the fairgrounds, tell people go home.
And you don't hope that it comes down to that, but if does come down to that and you have to do that, then we have to do it. And Troy and I, we work real close. We have a emergency plan in place, and it's not only bad weather, but if there was to be a threat of a bombing, or you hope that never happens, or
there's a semi pulling a load of propane
and he rolls over.
Yeah, you never know what can happen.
That's exactly right. You never do know what happened, and so we do have plans in place, and we would monitor it, and Troy would make that decision, and if that decision is made that we need to evacuate, then we need to evacuate. But
that would be ultimately Troy's decision then, or would it be emergency management, or a combination?
Well, Troy would be the go-between emergency management. I mean, I would, Troy would be my go-to person, and I would, whatever Troy would suggest.
Or you might be so busy, but he might be already monitoring a storm maybe that's coming from way out southwest, and he'd probably come to you and say, okay, John, we got to keep an eye on it. This is what it looks like. So
exactly so. So, we do, that's important. It's very important. The last thing that you'd want is for some catastrophic disaster to come and not be prepared. So, I take my hats off to Troy and the sheriff's department. They pull that command center to the fair. And there's people working in there all the time, and just for those reasons, monitoring everything, because you never can let your guard down.
The other thing that's nice that the sheriff's department does, and I think even maybe the Faribault City Police might help, but during the day and the evening, you just see officers walking around.
Exactly.
And if something is starting to brew, you see, somebody with law enforcement there kind of diffuses it before it can get out of control.
Yeah, and you're right, Jerry. They are. The sheriff's department is there. The Faribault Police Department are there, and if they're not right there, it's only a phone call away.
Yeah. Wanted to mention one of my favorite events at the Rice County Fair, the Hall of Fame program, the best of the best. Boy, what a great event that's turned into over the years, and I think it's been going for 5, 6, 7 years now.
Well, it's got to be at least that long.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even longer.
Time flies, I guess.
It is. Time flies when you're having fun, right? and that is it's a fun day. It starts off in the morning with a breakfast, and then we have a few speakers, and we are able to reminisce on some of the past farmers, and farmers can reminisce, and then we give out our awards, and it's always a great time to be able to honor these families that are nominated, and it's just great to see so many people have done so much to build up agriculture in Rice County, and I'm just so glad we came up with this program that we can honor some of these people. And I'm sure there's people out there that feel why not me, but that's why we have the applications out there, and you can contact Art Madsen or myself. I have some applications at the Fairgrounds office.
And I'm sure Art has some at his office at Reliance Bank.
I
got some here at the studio.
You have some here at the studio, and I have to just make sure that we're finally now getting our website up and everything updated on our website, and we'll make sure that we get some applications on that website so people can go to the website and download it from the website also.
So if while we were mentioning the program and someone popped in your mind thinking, boy, they should be in the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame, make sure you get that application form. And Art's kind of the Faribault Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee's chairman of that program, so get a hold of Art Madsen and And he even sometimes helps track down information, and he's done a lot of that. And plus he's been here for a while, so he knows a lot of people.
That's right, and you know, Art's a great asset for this program and to the fair and the county. You know, Art has a lot of knowledge, and he's always willing to help. And you know, it's just a great time. You know, last year we redid where we hang the pictures. Now what we do, instead of having all the pictures hung, we've gone to a plaque on the wall, and they get a little inscription on it that's mounted onto a plaque now. I guess when we started this, we didn't realize that that wall is only so big, and with all these pictures, you can't display them all. So
why don't we just build another building then?
That's right. with lots of walls. So you know, we'll have that plaque there, and you know, people can come through, look at it, and they can browse around, and it just really a nice display wall that we had made up last year.
And we also have to say thanks to our good friend Doug Gilbertson at the Grandstand Agri Center for sponsoring that program every year. That's again what the county fairs are all about.
Exactly so, and we're so thankful to Doug, and you know, he's always up there, and he promotes it, and it's near and dear to him, and we know we need people like that to help us out here at the fair, and it sure goes to show when something means a lot to an individual, you know, the lengths that they'll go to make sure that things keep going on and that they stay existing.
You mentioned everything was pretty well set for the grandstand events?
Pretty well. I'll start off with Tuesday. We're still a little up in the air with that. We'd like to try something new. It's called an autocross. I'm working with my promoter to see if, you know, that's something that is feasible, what we can do. Wednesday night we're thinking about having a new event at the grandstand. It'll be a battle of the bands where we're going to invite local bands, and they can come in and compete. We'll have a set of judges there, and we'll give them a criteria, you know, what to judge them on, and so I'm hoping that we can attract some local amateur bands that want to get going.
Some high school bands or whatever.
Exactly so. You know, even if you got a garage band and you want to come and compete, you know, come on out and have a good time. I think it'll be a good time. Thursday night, we'll have our enduro races. We have them every year. Great job that our promoter does with that, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Friday night, we'll have our bull riding event. And we'll run that in conjunction with our Kids Day. So during intermission of the bull riding, you know, we'll have our little events for the kids, and we'll have prizes to award to the kids. Saturday night we have our NTPA truck and tractor pull.
I was going to say, I'm going to shut you off the air if you don't have that. That also is one of my favorite events.
Yeah, that's a fun event, and got that scheduled for Saturday night, and looking forward to that. And then Sunday late afternoon is our demolition derby. We are starting our demolition derby this year earlier than last year. We're going to start. The actual demolition derby is going to start at 4:30, and at 4 o'clock we're going to have the little kids Power Wheels demo at 4 o'clock, and then followed up at 4:30 by the demolition derby. And hopefully the demolition derby will get out early enough, and everybody can still enjoy one last walk through the midway of the fair, and the vendors will still be open. They can go out and buy their favorite food, so that'll give them just a little bit more time that they can walk through that midway.
You're always looking for new grandstand events, but yet you always bring back some of the ones that are very popular. That truck and tractor pull, always every year that I can remember, the grandstand 3/4 full to almost full.
Exactly.
The demolition derby, always a good crowd.
Exactly. Our bull riding night is
that the night too of the John Dvorak bull riding?
Yeah, dream on. Dream on. But Friday night, you know, our bull riding, and that's gaining steam, and we're getting more and more interest in that, and more people are coming out. So, you know, our weekends are our busiest times, and we try to have a good event for them to come to and to have a good time.
It's always fun too to kick off the fair on the Tuesday evening with the Fair Queen coronation.
Exactly so, and so, gals, if that's something that you're interested in, you can get a hold of Kathy Cap, and she'll have information shortly on the website also. But it's a lot of fun, and come on out and compete and vie for that title. It's a great time, and it's a great experience throughout the year. I know they travel to a lot of fairs, and they represent Rice County, and they do a great job when they represent Rice County. And so we always look forward to that. That's a big event, and it's just a great way to be an ambassador for the Rice County Fair.
It's always fun too when we have a number of girls, so you have a big crowd there.
Exactly so, and it's a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about. Go out there and have a good time.
One of the things I've noticed over the years that it always seems like the Grandstand, you've tried a number of different things on Tuesday night, always a bit of the struggle that first evening of the fair, and part of it maybe is because a lot of the people that are there are over for the Fair Queen coronation.
Yeah, it'd be nice to put your finger on it and just figure out what we need to do, what will draw, and you just keep trying new events, and hope for the best. That's all you can do.
And keep trying till you find something that works.
Exactly, exactly.
You mentioned the free entertainment. Boy, there's a couple different spots there, and that's always so enjoyable too.
It is, and so we have on Tuesday night, we'll have the Queen coronation, and then on Wednesday night in the Selner stage, we'll have Ivan Jivan. He's right here from Faribault. He'll be performing there. On Thursday night, our ever popular White Sidewalls. They're always great to have, and they've been coming back now. I bet you they've been coming back now for about 10 years or probably more than that. I mean, it's a great venue. They do a great job entertaining, and the people, they just look so forward to coming out and seeing them. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll have people come and start putting up their lawn chairs, kind of claiming their spot on the grass area. So that's fun to see, and I'm glad that they enjoy that, and they look forward to it.
And they hit a lot of county fairs in the area, always big crowds, and people actually kind of follow them from county fair to county fair. That's great too.
That is, and well, they're a popular band, and they were big, back in the
day.
The day.
The music when music was music.
That's right. They had a great following, and they did a great job, and they still do. And they're getting up there in age, and man, to be able to sing like they did back in the day, that's something. And then moving on, to Friday night, Brad Boyce, our Elvis impersonator, is back again, and he's going to be performing on Friday night. And on Saturday night, we have Sherwin Linton coming back. He was there last year, and he's going to be back this year. And he's the next best thing to Johnny Cash, and does a great job. So we're looking forward to seeing him. And then we have our on our Cannon stage, we have activity going on there. Patty Anderson's going to be back, and she's going to be the DJ and doing a karaoke contest and entertaining on that stage. We'll have some few local individuals coming back. We have a local juggler that we hired for the fair, Tui the Juggler's coming. He's going to be at the Rice County Fair this year performing. He was there last year, did a great job. The kids really enjoyed him. I have a magician coming back.
That's always popular.
That's popular.
Not just with kids either.
Exactly, and he been at the Rice County Fair before. He's Brodini, the magician, and he does a great job, and so we're excited to have him coming back. Another thing that we're really excited about is we have the Mitchell Marionettes coming back to the fair. They were absent for 2 years, and we made a deal with them to come back, and so we're really excited having them back because they were always a popular draw, and people enjoy watching them. And so we're great that they're coming back. They have a new theme this year. They're not coming back with the boat like they have in the past. They have an old circus wagon that's going to be their prop, and so I'm really excited to have that. And then they're also going to put on a different performance for us, and it's going to be tying into agriculture. And so agriculture is, we're all about trying to educate as much as we can at the fair, and so they've got a little skit put together that they'll perform a couple of times that's going to relate to agriculture. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and hopefully, you know, everybody will be happy and you know, enjoy it also. So just something, you know, when you try to put things together, you know, you try to tie in as much to agriculture as you can, and it's not coming to the fair and having a good time, but you know, we'd like to think that you're leaving the fair and you've learned something also, and so that's where we're kind of heading towards, and so there's a few things that I'm working on, and hopefully some of them down the line here, well, I'll talk more about, you know, in future shows, you know, what we get lined up.
Sure, a couple, 3 years ago, you kind of rearranged how things were at the fairgrounds, and you moved all of the kids' rides to the east end, and then you put the west end, went back to machinery and equipment displays, and that seems like it's went really, really well.
It has, and you know, we have Dave Isaacson comes down there with his machinery, and SEMA Equipment is coming down with theirs on that end, and so, you know, we'll have plenty of machinery for farmers to look at, and you know, it's not like it was back in the day when you and I were small, and you'd come and you'd run around and play on all the tractors. I mean, things have changed and things have gotten bigger and more specialized, you know, so but I think these two individuals do a great job with what they bring to the fair and display, and it's fun to see. You know, people get an idea, you know, what really is going on in the agriculture world. They can ask questions, you know, because both of them will gladly ask questions, you know, how do we help to preserve conservation? And you know, what are these machines doing, and what are we, you know, what are we doing different out there in the ag sector to help promote a better way of farming? And you know, don't be afraid to ask any of these guys, because they'll tell you, and that's why they're there. And so they're not there just to, you know, just to display and hope to make a sale, but they're also there to promote and answer questions, you know, why we do things the way we did, and we don't do them like we did back in the day. And farming has just evolved so much from back when you and I were small to what it is today.
That's for sure. Yeah, other years, sometimes you'd have different events or acts kind of just roaming around the fairgrounds. I remember it was like the Beverly Hillbillies Jed Clampett car. I want to say Hillbilly Bob.
Hillbilly Bob.
Or
yeah.
you'd have somebody in what's it called, had a bike, big wheel, and then a little wheel in the back. They'd just be rolling around. Or you'd have different, any special things like that coming back you can think of?
Not off the top of my head. I'm still working on trying to get a few in. The thing you have to realize too is, you know, these individuals, you know, they'll pick out a route for their fair, you know, and it's they want to be at this county fair and then the next county fair, and so that's where it gets kind of difficult working that into their schedule and working it into your schedule.
Yeah, they're trying to coordinate everything. They don't want to be in Rice County this week and be way up in northern Minnesota next week. They want to kind of...
Exactly so, or you know, they want to be in the same state at least. And you know, a lot of these guys, you know, they travel from state to state, and not many of them are local. So you know, the individual that rode on the tall unicycle, you know, he's in Florida. He's out of Florida, so when he's putting his route together, you know, he needs to make sure that, you know, he doesn't come from Indiana to Minnesota and then back to Illinois. You know, he tries to get that all lined up, and so it's a little bit to figure it out, you know, and it's being able to fit it into your budget and making sure that you stay within the budget that the board gives you. And so we will have, you know, that's part of what the Mitchell Marionettes will do. You know, she'll stroll the fairgrounds. She has her little monkey on a bike that she rides around the fairgrounds with, and she'll entertain people with that. And so I'm just really thinking that we're going to have a fun, entertaining fair this year.
I haven't mentioned anything about 4-H, but it wouldn't be a county fair without the 4-H kids there.
Oh, yeah, you know, that 4-H program, you know, Kelly does such a good job with that 4-H program and promoting it, and you know, keeps kids interested in it, and you know, it's a big part of the fair. It's a big part of the fair to have all those 4-Hers there, not only exhibiting their animals, but also exhibiting their general projects in the 4-H building, and putting on demonstrations, and you know, they have a great food stand in the 4-H building, and it's just so much fun to be able to work with 4-H.
And it's also nice to see the Rice County Fair partnering with some FFA chapters in the area with the Chivler's Barnyard.
Yeah, that's a popular spot, and you know, we do have a fair representation of FFAers that come to the fair. Another thing I'm looking forward to this year is we started working real closely last year with the Riverbend Nature Center in our DNR building, and so I'm really excited this year to work with Amber over there at the Riverbend Nature Center. We've already been talking, and we have a meeting set up and seeing what we can do different this year and how we can improve on last year. And boy, I tell you, if somebody's full of energy, Amber sure is, and it's just a great feeling to have and a great person to be around, because she just can energize you on a bad day. And I mean, just talking with her, you know, she can really energize you and energize the conversation. So I'm really looking forward to working with her again. Another thing I'm working on too is trying to find some animals to put on the sides of the DNR building. So, you know, we can go on and on, Jerry, but I see we're running out of time here, and you know, just want everybody to remember the dates. It's July 19th through the 24th.
And that would be a Tuesday through Sunday then.
Exactly so. So
we only have about a minute left, but I wanted to mention too the improvements and the partnerships, the rock gardens, the water gardens. There's a classic example of someone volunteering to beautify the fairgrounds, but yet promote their business at the same time.
Exactly so. You know, the Master Gardeners do a great job there. Another person, group of people that I want to mention here real quick too is our Historical Society. You know, they're a big part of the fair also, and they open up the building and they put on displays there so people can see, you know, what went on back in the early days. And you know, you talk back in the day, that's really back in the day. So they do a great job out there, and it's just a fun atmosphere working with everybody.
More information, go to the Rice County Fair's website, because a lot of things will be hitting that website very shortly.
Exactly so, ricecountyfair.net.
Thanks, John. Always enjoy our visit. We'll look forward to doing it again soon.